Good morning and welcome to Fridays on the Porch. I am your host, Dr. Katie O'Shea. Happy Friday and welcome to our unscripted, unedited, and uncut podcast, or Porchcast, if you will, where we talk about all things holistic, healing the body, and bringing some balance to our worlds outside of the traditional healthcare space. Today, I am excited to share the time with Beth O'Brien, a colleague of mine here at the Zen Den, the center. Oh goodness, we're still drinking our coffee. So, on Main Street, Medford,
Hello.
where we live. So Beth, cheers. Where we work, where we live. It's the full moon come down.
We do have a lot of fun here too, which is great also.
We do. So
hi, thanks for having me, Katie.
Thanks. Oh, so good to have you here. Thank you for being here and
you're welcome.
keeping me on schedule with getting me here because
like you said, the full moon, makes everybody a little crazy.
So Beth and I have a fun connection and fun tie. She was the first person that I did Reiki with as a client.
Yes.
I did, we have a lot of events here at the center, and a Wednesday night, your bowls, a sound bath,
right,
and little mini Reiki sessions. And that was my first experience with the center with Beth.
Very nice.
And here we are now, full circle.
And here you are.
Here you are, and here I am. Here we are.
Welcome to the center.
So Beth, tell us a little bit about what you do, how you got here, like give us the lowdown.
Okay, how much time you got?
Until we press pause so the battery runs out.
So a little bit about me, as you know, I'm Beth O'Brien, and some of the things that I do here at the Center Life and Balance. I'm a psychic medium, I'm a Reiki master, I'm a certified hypnotist, a certified shaman, end-of-life death doula, which works with hospice people that when people are dying and crossing over, and the families. I'm also a paranormal investigator. I do historic homes to help raise money, and private homes people call and I'll go out to their house if it's haunted, and I'll do house cleansings and house blessings. It's a free service. I'm also an ordained minister, so I've done about 10 weddings, 3 christenings, and my first eulogy. So it's a lot.
It's a lot of coordination.
A lot, yeah.
And a lot of ways to connect with people.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
do you have a favorite?
I really enjoy, I do enjoy being a medium and channeling, but I love being a paranormal investigator. That's something that I'll always do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
You're good at it.
I know you're not.
It frightens me. Scares me. Not my thing, but I'm so glad it's your thing.
Yes, I love it.
And you've had some cool encounters.
I had a lot of cool encounters over the years. Yes, over the years we had a lot.
And you host the ghost tour that we do here on Main Street, Medford.
Yes, it's
here.
Yes, correct. It's November 1st and 2nd. And what it is, it's a ghost tour, but usually ghost tours, you just walk outside the buildings and they tell you the history. But because I'm a paranormal investigator, you get to go in all 3 dwellings. We usually pick different dwellings each year, and there's paranormal equipment set up, and you get to use the paranormal equipment to see if spirit responds to us. And Katie loves this part.
yeah. Well, I unfortunately have to wash my hair that night, so yeah. I can't make it. But I know it's a sold out event usually, and if I were ever going to let myself get over my fear, I would do it with you.
Yes,
but it's never.
You'd be in good hands.
I would be.
She says that now.
Yeah, I know. She might intuitively know otherwise, but I don't. Very stubborn on some things. So the mediumship part, I think, is a very unique piece of what you bring to the table and your Reiki sessions. I know personally what you've done with my sessions. And I know that's not in our Western healthcare world, right? That's something very poo-pooed upon probably and looked to as more entertainment purpose, maybe more than actual value.
Yeah.
In the Western world, I also think about the mind-body connection. And I truly believe in past life and all those things and connection. So for me, it's personal. And I think from a Western healthcare brain, if someone finds peace, doesn't that provide healing?
It sure does. If it brings any type of comfort or, like you said, any peace or relieves some of their grief, there's nothing wrong with that. Then people say, you can't prove like the paranormal or psychics and mediums, but you cannot prove it either.
Right.
It's harder to not prove it or disprove it than to prove it.
Because really, I mean, how do we know anything?
You don't. You just something that you trust and something that you believe.
Yeah.
It's just like different religions. It's what you believe. It's what you believe in and how it makes you feel. So I always say we live on the same earth but drive different cars.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Have you ever had anyone come to you that they found their way to you and they came in like a big disbeliever or skeptic?
Yeah, I have. And you know, when you say that, it's interesting because if they're that much of a skeptic or non-believer, why would they be there?
Right,
So,
that's my first question. Like, how'd they get to you?
So how did they must
Yeah.
be curious about something,
Yeah.
or they wouldn't be there.
And
Yeah.
it makes sense to me. Like they find a way. And I find when I'm working in the hospital system, right, like there are patients that are like, I need to talk to my psychic medium. I need to connect with my person or my so-and-so gives me guidance. And I think it's always interesting to see people who are more open to whatever that might be.
Yeah.
And how they're more centered and connected with themselves.
Yeah. Some people actually say, not that I'm taking credit for any of this, that people, instead of going to therapists and psychiatrists, they'll come to a medium.
Really?
You know, for guidance or to, you know, complain about their problems.
Okay.
They'll come to a psychic medium instead of going to a therapist, which I'm not saying that's a good idea.
You're right.
But, you know, I really believe that it's good to have modern medicine and holistic medicine working together, because you have to treat the mind, body, soul, and spirit. It's not always about, well, here's a pill. Not that if you need to take a pill, take it. I believe in doctors.
Yep.
I had my gallbladder out, so I do believe in doctors, and I had to have a C-section 100 years ago. But so we need doctors. There's a reason. So, but it's also nice to see that it's starting to get bigger and more popular when you talk about the holistic way of
being in space. And the oils and the ways to support our body and healing. And I think that's what, for me, it always comes back to healing. Yeah. How do we bring support, get ourselves out of grief, out of fight or flight? And there's lots of avenues out there to find that through.
Meditation is one of them. It's, you know, it calms the mind, body, and it's good for your blood pressure and to relieve stress, you know, form of meditation.
And you do the sound bowls.
Do the sound bowls, yes.
Which I love, which we know the hertzes impact different levels and different healing. And yours are very pretty too. Yours aren't just traditional sound bowls, I feel like.
Yeah, they're the color of the chakras, you know, so they're different colors, you know, like purple, indigo, red, yellow, orange.
Okay.
And so they're all different colors of the chakras to help. And they're tuned to a piano or on the keyboard. So that's how they figure that out with A, B, C, D, E, F, and all the way up to G. So that's how they figure that out when they're played.
Oh, okay. And the chakras, you know, here's where I nerd out. Like they all connect to our organs and body system. Yes. Right. So there is a way of bringing these two worlds together.
Yes, and it hires your vibration. If you were to put water in these crystal bowls, and when you play them, the water would vibrate. Our bodies are made up of 70-75% water. So what happens is it helps to break up any blockages that you have in your body. So that's how it helps like that way.
I love it. Now, something that I'm really excited to talk about with you is your work as a death doula. So I know nothing about this world. Scares me probably not as much as the paranormal. Field, right? I know about the death part very well. Yeah. But so tell me about, because we don't hear about death doulas in Western medicine.
No, well, you know about beginning of life, birth doulas. They have them.
We had Rebecca on last week. I found out.
Yeah. So end of life death doula, it's you work with people who are dying at their end of their life, and you usually work with the families that they'll ask you to come out because hospice can't be with you. You know, if anyone has ever been on hospice or used hospice, they can't be with you all day long, you know, 7 days a week. So they come and go, where end of life death doula will sit with the family, let them go, you know, take a shower or go to the store, you know, or something. They have to run errands. So then that's when you would use a death doula. They also can help you, you know, take care of the person that is dying with different things that they do, like, you know, give them, you know, sips of water or their, you know, sponge in their mouth.
Okay.
You know, brush their hair, put lotions on, like stuff like they can do that.
Okay. So like the comforts.
The comfort.
And the meaningful human pieces.
Yes. Yeah.
Not just medical care.
Right.
Okay. Now, how does one become a death doula? How did you even? How did this find you?
It started during COVID, where we weren't allowed to go out or do anything.
Okay.
So I was looking online, and I just been interested because, for some reason, I'm actually there at a lot of people at their end of their life that they're dying, and to me, it's just something that's. I know this may sound crazy, but it's a beautiful thing and a scary thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Very
and
much
it's
so.
an honor to be there when someone is crossing over and dying. So I I heard about a death doula, and I looked into it. So I actually took an online course because you couldn't go nowhere. So this is what happened. I found an institution that did it, and then I became certified online.
Okay.
And then, you have to take tests and all to make sure you know what you're doing. But I was a medical assistant for 20 years. I have anatomy and physiology, so it was very easy for me to take the test. It was like stuff that I already knew back in the day.
I love the recycling part of life. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah. So that's how I became end of life death doula. It's not as popular. A lot of people haven't heard about it, but it's something that you can use to help, your family member in transition as they're crossing over to the other side.
I think it's a beautiful piece. I think, it's something that, microphones.
Microphones.
Unscripted, unedited, uncut. So, hey.
The best way. We're normal people.
We are. Just drinking our coffee on the porch on a Friday. Day ends in Y, right? So I think about death, and I, from a young age, experienced death, and in such a negative capacity, and in such a way that created trauma and just poor coping, right? And I think older, wiser, looking back then, wow, what if that was a service for people, right? Because a lot of times it was you could cry for 2 or 3 days, and then you were supposed to get over it, and then you cry at the holidays, right?
Yes.
And or events and things of that nature, and I don't think anyone ever talked about how death is normal and it's going to impact all of us.
Yes.
Right? And we know there's grief. We know it's sad. But a death doula doesn't take away the grief or the grieving part, right? Like, it's not like...
No, it provides like comfort.
Okay.
To the family, or if they need somebody to, even if they need somebody to talk to, that's what you're supposed to be there for. Whatever they need, or whenever they need to help them get through this process of a family member, loved one, or a friend dying, then that's what you supply the support for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
How are you with them 24/7, or I guess it's
you come and go. You make your own schedule, because hospice would be there also.
Okay.
So you would just, because we can't administer medication, they have to do it. Or actually, sometimes they allow the family to do it.
Okay.
To give
morphine and stuff. Yeah. I think it's a great service. And hospice, we've had a couple hospice companies on that. It's a beautiful way to die with dignity, and to have someone that's not worrying about
got to do the wash, or
or do the paperwork to support this,
or even cook for them, whatever they need to do laundry, or whatever you need, whatever there is needed at the time, because hospice don't do that little extras. They're just there to make sure that person is still breathing, and and
declare
and to declare and when they cross over, or to give the medication. So this is more personable, one-on-one, with spending time with the family.
It's got to be a lot emotionally to be a death doula.
It is a lot emotionally to do that. I was experiencing my own death in 2019. My father had crossed, and then my mom just crossed in February, and then I had family in between cross. So what happens is you're supposed to get experience and work with either Samaritan or hospice to get familiar with it. But also, if you have someone that died recently, they make you wait a whole year.
So it's not.
Yeah, you can't, just to make sure because you're grieving yourself.
Right.
So it's they want you to be okay before you can help someone else, because it does take. It is very emotional. Yeah. It is very emotional. But it's worth it.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. I think you're someone very good in that space too.
Yeah.
How do you kind of protect yourself? Right, like in Reiki, we talk about protecting our own energy to help before we're doing healing work.
Well, you just know. Well, it's okay to even cry with the family. It's okay to do it because you're human. But just knowing that your energy is yours and their energy is theirs, you try to give yourself a little bit of distance, or you go and you take a walk or do something like that. So I don't know if necessarily you're really protecting yourself. Okay. But it's just, you can cry along with them. That's what I would.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Yeah. I've cried at many a bedside.
Because you're human, and it's they would rather have somebody who is natural and human than not somebody that is real standoffish, or somebody, because that's not going to bring them comfort.
Right. Or healing or peace.
There's a hearse coming down the road. Are you?
I don't know.
Do you
Should
see
I?
that?
I do.
Just
There's a hearse coming down the road.
Okay, so we're talking about this, and there's a funeral procession.
Mm-hmm. So you tell me what's coming up for you, because
What?
I don't know if she's going to paranormal investigate, if this was a death doula client. Like, I don't really know where she's about to go. She's going to talk to them.
Anyway,
Okay.
only us, Katie. Only us.
Unscripted, unedited. The O'Brien and the O'Shea. I don't know what else to tell you,
Only
folks.
us.
Yep,
Okay,
usually
two Irish women.
Usually it's a fire truck, sometimes a cement mixer. Yep, that today. It's
Yes.
unscripted,
Yeah.
unedited, and cut. So it's something that happens.
Interesting.
Death
Yes. See, and
happens.
it's very common. It's the inevitable. It's going to happen to all of us. But it's nice to have somebody to bring you some comfort.
I think that's a beautiful thing, because I think a lot in our Western world, it's procedural, and there's compassion by all means, but you have to get the procedural stuff done, right, to get reimbursed and all those things.
Yes,
and it's
absolutely.
nice to have a way. Obviously, you're reimbursed as well, but it's nice to be able to do it a little more human way without regulations and all that stuff.
Yep, and more just coming and going and giving medications more. Not that hospice isn't wonderful. Samaritan is wonderful. You know, they were wonderful to my mom and dad, both in-house and at the nursing home.
So what do you think, or do you think, is there anything that people can do during the death process to make grief easier? I'm hearing that question. I'm going, I would not want to answer that. Why are you asking her that?
To make it easier?
Yeah. Is that a thing?
Just to be there to hold your hand, their hand, and know that they're not, and you know, they sense it that you're there. The mind is the last thing to die. So, like they say, if you wonder if your family, if your loved ones can feel you, the one that is dying can feel you and sense you when you're there, and they do. They can feel you to make it more comfortable, knowing that you're there. And I think it brought me comfort when my mom was crossing over in February. She was talking to my grandma, her mom. She's like, my mom's here and told me it was time to go.
Wow.
Right. And so knowing that they're seeing that and they're feeling that and sensing that makes them okay to go. If that's what they believe in, that's a whole other thing. And she knew my dad was there also because she Dad said, everything's okay. And I think it made it easier for them to cross over. And then your family being around, if you can. Sometimes you can't, but you do the best you can to be there for them. It makes the transition easier.
Yeah. Do you see the death doula practice and work expanding and growing?
I believe so. I think it needs more exposure because people think when you hear the word doula, it's just for birth, but it's not. It's for both. So it needs more exposure.
Okay.
More exposure.
Yeah. It's interesting. I always wonder about like these supportive services, and we're starting to see Reiki bring into the hospitals.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
People bringing birth doulas into delivery rooms.
And Reiki, they're doing Reiki in hospitals.
Reiki in hospital, yep. A lot of the oncology programs have Reiki programs. Outpatient substance abuse programs have a lot of Reiki programs. So you're seeing it creep in.
Yes, it's creeping in.
It's beautiful. And I wondered if in your world, if you'd see that too.
I have, and I think the whole holistic thing is more available, and it's more, people are more open to it. Like you said, like when you were younger, well, I'm older than you, but when I was younger, you didn't even talk about death. That there's nobody to talk to you about it. It was just none of the holistic stuff was really around. So it's much easier nowadays because of social media. Yeah,
it's true. One of the goods of social media.
Yeah, one of the goods.
Goods and bads.
And pictures.
Puppies. Puppies information. They scare me, but that's okay. I'm not on the baby channel. I'm on the puppies. Yeah, and the raccoons.
Puppies are your babies.
Oh, they are. My baby.
Raccoons.
I want a raccoon. I do. I will never get one. I'm too much of a baby. But I live vicariously through these people who have pet raccoons.
Oh my gosh, I never even heard of that.
That's good. It's a whole thing.
All right, so that's fun.
That's like, oh boy. That's a past lifetime. Yeah, right. To each his own. I come in here one day, a raccoon on a leash. Hey guys. Meet Stripes, right? Anywho.
Stripes, I like that.
Thank you.
Or Bandit.
Bandit. I mean, it's so overdone.
Bandit.
Yeah. Expected. We'll see. Well, if we'll let the public decide a name, vote a name.
Yes, can you please? Stripes or Bandit for her pet raccoon?
Yeah. Leave it in the comments, okay? Meanwhile, the Evesham County Board's Googling my address.
Yeah, like
doing a safety check. Chick has raccoons in our house. No.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
No. Totally sidebar. What else was I supposed to ask you?
That's okay.
Ah.
I also teach psychic development classes.
Yes.
Tea leaf reading classes. Play the crystal bowls. So
tell us about psychic development. What is that?
So psychic development is I truly believe that when you're learning to do this stuff, or you have an interest, or you think, wow, there's more out there, or more to the universe that meets the eye, you sense things, you feel things, you see things, I think it's important to get the right teacher or the right mentor to help you along the way so that you do it right. You know, there's millions of people on TikTok that are doing it. Not that I'm saying anything bad about that, but I would prefer that you guys would, if you're interested in to take psych development classes, find a mentor that you can connect with and have them teach you like different forms of divination in the right way to put up like psychic protection. And yeah, so that would be the best bet.
Okay. Very cool. Is it a long process when you're teaching people psychic development?
I love teaching. So it depends on, sometimes it's like a monthly thing where you teach different forms of divination and you learn your strong points. And you can do it that way. And then it's like a monthly thing. You know, some teachers do it or mentors do it a weekly thing. Okay. It just depends on who your mentor is.
Okay. Very cool.
But it just is nice to do it the right way.
Yeah. I think it makes sense, right? Anything we're doing where we can have a foundation and you have your basics to go back to.
Yes.
Whatever that is you're learning, right? It just makes sense to have that foundation.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, with anything, like you said, it's good just to, have the foundation and to just learn the correct way and the right way to do it.
Yeah. Do you ever have anyone come in and like kind of use you alongside Western medicine? Have you experienced that yet?
No, but I think that's the next thing.
Yeah.
I think that's coming up next.
Okay.
Especially, maybe even with physical therapy, right?
Yeah.
Like to have, a Reiki person in there. I haven't experienced that. And I truly believe that I think it's good if they come to nursing homes even. Even when someone is crossing over, if someone's dying, Reiki can help in that transition also.
It does.
So I've done that. I've done Reiki also with someone who was transitioning or crossing over.
That's a cool thing.
That seems to calm them down.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Very neat. So, Beth, if people want to learn more about you, connect with you, take advantage of some of the services you offer, how would they? I'll add all your information so it's there for them, but what's the best way for people to connect you?
The best way is through email, which is bethob67@yahoo.com.
Yahoo!
So that would be the best way. And then you can go on the Center Life and Balance to find out, a little more about me. You can go on the website and see the things that you like to do, or maybe you want to connect in some way.
Perfect. Yes. I love it. All right. Well, thank you for being here on the porch with me.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Oh my gosh. I can't wait
so much fun.
Can't wait to hear what she was thinking about with the hearse going by. Like, if she doesn't want to put it on air, I can tell, but I am curious. So everyone, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for spending Friday with us.
Thank you.
We will see you next week. Take care.
Bye. Have a good weekend.